All right. Thanks, guys. We got cut off suddenly there, but we are back. And Beniah, you were talking about popularity in this game. Go ahead.
Yeah, all that I was going to finish off saying is that we were all, if I'm not mistaken, every single player in the game, all 10 of us, were at some point on the most dreaded list, which is basically terrible popularity, and there's penalization for being on the most dreaded list. And I think a big part of that is the fact that there's only 5 or 6 AI that you can do share right of way with. And so because of that, the importance of popularity in this game mode is decreased substantially, even though it's incredibly important to get things like right of way. Um, you have to also balance that with the fact that you will be on the most dreaded list at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one of the things that we bellyached about was I got early on, I got right of way with Denmark, which was completely useless to me. Like, really, just
Mm-hmm.
way far away from me. I did not get right of way with Romania or any of the, Bulgaria, any of the territories close by to me that would have been good to have right of way with. So you're right. Like that backdoor way of attacking is crucial in this game. And yet it's very, very difficult to maintain popularity so that you can even have a chance of that in this game mode.
Would it would it make you feel better if I told you that I never got right of way with any AI for the entire game?
Yeah, it would. So that's what eventually Harkold was able to attack, and he got right of way with two of those sort of
Mm-hmm.
border guys in there. But again, it's like we have to consider things like that. I did declare war. Um, I believe on pretty sure on Maverick early on to try to
Mm-hmm.
help Russia. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so another thing that I think, I made a little list of things that I want to make sure that we do next game, and one of them is just the whole idea of I almost started to envision all of our troops and all of our countries on in my alliance as sort of a one cloth, and that cloth is very stretchable. It's very malleable. You can pull it, and my thought process was this: that if I, for instance, hover. Uh, so the British Isles are a great example. If I hovered in your backwaters there between Ireland and the mainland of England and Wales, if I hovered in that water with 10 guys or even 12, then that pulls that tapestry. It prevents you from, I think there's like 7 territories that are threatened by that. Now, if you're smart and you are, a smart player, and I know that you don't have to hold back 10 in each of those 7 territories. If you're watching for landings, which is something that you and I have talked about in the past, it ends up being crucial in this game is being hyper alert for any landings. But still, just having that 10 floating in the water is crucial. And what I was doing is I was sending in fake attacks, and then at one point I forgot I had a day trip I had to make down to Fayetteville to go see my orthodontist, and I let that attack land, and it was a crucial. It was one of the bigger mistakes that I made in the game because as soon as that water was clear, you didn't have to hold troops back in that region. I think the same thing could happen down around Greece. I think the same thing could happen to threaten Italy and potentially Austria-Hungary right there in that. I guess that's probably the Mediterranean Sea there. But just the idea of like
Mm-hmm.
if one player can spare 10 troops to just hover, then it really prevents. In your case, England, you would have had to hold back probably. I don't know if there's 7 territories there. You'd probably want to hold back 5 in each of those 7 territories. So that's 35 that are being held back by 10 guys in the water. And that was something that I started to kind of realize is like um, there's so much play all over the map, and so somebody floating in the waters in the midst of the British Isles could have an impact in
Mm-hmm.
Germany because now
Yep.
Germany won't get support from those troops or something. So there's some real global play at work here that I've not ever considered in the past. Um,
Yeah.
Really interesting stuff.
So let's talk a little bit about the map that we had specifically, as opposed to